Dear friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be diving into another room on the TryHackMe, which is Archangel. This is not so easy, but of course it's not extremely difficult. Before we go ahead, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. So now let's get started. I've already deployed the machine, and so now we can click complete. Okay, good. So now we are going to the task 2, and we can head over to the Linux VM. First of all, we need to I need to copy the IP address of the target machine. We can copy and put it to our notebook. So what shall we do next? We need to perform port and surface scanning with a map. To save time of this video, I've already completed before. So now we can get out its results. Let's scroll up a bit. So as you can see over here, I took the options like -A. This means, all-in-one scan like OS, detection, surface scanning option. Okay, and I also use this uppercase P and N. This option tells the nmap not to check the reachability or availability of the target machine. Okay, just start its scanning right away. And also, this option I've already explained a lot. The verse scan and the default script scan. And this option, ON, is to output the result into this file. Although you can notice here, the IP address has changed because I redeployed or respawned the target machine. From the nmap scanning results, we can tell the target machine has 2 open ports. The first one, 22. Its surface is SSH or secure shell surface. And also we can get its version information, include its exact version number. Though this version is not updated, I don't think we can find any workable exploit. The second open port, 80, the surface is HTTP or Hypertext Transfer Protocol. And also we can get its version information Apache 2. So I think it's quite clear what we are going to do next. We need to enumerate this web application, both manually and automatically. Let's fire up the browser to perform manual enumeration first. We can put the IP address into the address bar of the browser. Let me get the IP address of the target machine from notebook and paste in here. After all, it's hard to remember. We can hit enter. So security solutions since 2001, and pages, a lot of pages. But on the top, we can find this email address, including its domain name. We can copy and paste over here. Of course, the port, just 2 open port, SSH, port 80, HTTP. Let's go back to the room. So, here, the first question is find a different host name. We have already found. Okay, so we can remove this prefix and let's submit. Correct. Let's go back to the site to continue our enumeration. And so now, we need to find a flag. Okay, so now maybe I can scroll down and check its source code. Nothing here. So next, let me check whether we can access its robots file. Not found. Next, we can launch Nicto to perform automatic enumeration. Let me specify the IP address of the target machine. We can copy. Okay. But anyhow, we can't get anything from Nicto. To save time, I'd like to interrupt it here. Next, we can launch GoBuster to perform directory enumeration. And we can paste, and we can use W option to specify the word list, like, dear buster word list. But I'm not going to hit enter key on the keyboard because this will generate a lot of logs, and this will affect our afterwards penetration. We need to restart the target machine. Anyhow, I do not want to waste your time. But in summary, we can't get anything from GoBuster. So what are we going to do next? We need to append the host name to the host file. We can copy. Maybe I can use command line to do this. Echo, and we can copy the IP address of the target machine, followed by the domain name or host name. We can copy from here. Okay, and then we can use pipe operator. The output of the previous command would be the input of the next command. So sudo, I want to append to the hosts file. Okay, press enter. It's done. Now let's access the domain name rather than IP address to see what different thing we can get. Okay, so now we can use HTTP, press enter, and we can get the flag. So this should be the first flag. Let me submit this flag to the loom. It's correct. So now we are going to look for a page under development. And I think we do not need to look at its hint. If you can follow the some kinds of standard methodology. For example, we need to check its source code. Nothing at all. Next, we need to access its robots file. Yeah, we find this page. We can copy and paste over here. So do we need to yes, this one, submit. Your answer is correct. Beautiful. So now we are going to find the second flag. And if you want, also we can make similar directory enumeration as before. But anyhow, I do not want to, I do not want to generate so many logs. Okay, so now I'd like to access this test file. Press enter. And the test page not to deployed. And we can, below this one, we have found button. And we can click it. Control is an illusion. Interesting. If you look at its URL or the address, without too much difficulty, we can notice the view parameter. So possibly, this view parameter exists file inclusive vulnerability. So next, I'm going to copy this address and use command line to test file inclusive vulnerability. Okay, Q. For example, I'd like to check to see whether we can access its password file. When I perform local file inclusive vulnerability testing, I always, use this methodology and the steps. So possibly, or maybe you can follow my steps, okay? And the next, so nothing returned, right? Next, we can check to see whether we can access its log file. Nothing returned. Apache 2, Apache access log file. But it will still get the same result. So how to do? Maybe we need to use a PHP filter, and the PHP filter allows us to, use the base64 way to encode the output. Okay, so maybe this one. So the PHP filter allows a pen tester to include local files, and the base64 encodes the output. Okay, and therefore any base64 output will need to be decoded to review the contents. So we can copy. Usually we, in most cases, we use this kind of PHP filter to, to retrieve source code of the PHP file. We can copy and paste in here. But that's not allowed. So next, maybe we can check to see whether we can access the test PHP file. Okay, press enter. And we can put, I think we can put the absolute path rather than relative path. We can copy from the beginning to this part. We can copy and followed by the test PHP. Fantastic. We got something different back from the target machine. And the output is encoded by base64. No worries, we can, decode it with command line. We can echo. Okay, so we can get its source code. So, the reason why just now we cannot access, the path, even, for example, even we use this way, like path traversal way. This still doesn't work. Okay, the reason is, you can see over here, this kind of path traversal or cannot work, or will be filtered, or will be protected, and we need to find a way to bypass such path traversal protection. And also we must contain this part, otherwise, we cannot include the local file. Okay, so let me show you how to bypass such, because we have already got its source code, and then it will be easier for us to get its source code. Sorry, not a source code. We can bypass, the filter or the protection, by the target machine. Okay, for example, let me. So we can use this way. No, not this one. So now. View, and we can, of course, we must include this part. Yeah, must include this part. We can copy from here. We can copy. Okay, and we can, although, the double dots and the slash would be filtered or would be blocked, we can use this way. So, double dot and one single or single dot. Okay, and then we can put the path of the file to retrieve. We can hit enter. As you can see, we successfully retrieved the content of password file. Beautiful. And we find the username Archangel. We can copy and paste over here. So what are we going to do next? We need to exploit this local file inclusion vulnerability. And so how to do? Next, we can try to access its private key. So Archangel SSH directory, private key. But nothing comes back from the target machine. And next, we can try to access its log file. And we can try to retrieve access log file of Apache 2. We got something, we got log file or log data from the target machine. Beautiful. So next, what we are going to do next, we need to poison this access log of Apache 2. And then, we can run command, because we are going to put or upload web shell to the target machine by poisoning access log file of the Apache 2. I think I've already made it clear. So now how to do? I think that, we need to use the another version of Firefox. And this version has a Foxy proxy plugin installed. And we can copy this address, but for now we can disable this proxy. Press enter. Okay, so now we can launch Bubble Suite. We can use this Bubble Suite to intercept the request and then manipulate the request for our purpose. Okay. Navigate to proxy tab, and also we can turn or configure Foxy proxy and to set the proxy to Bubble Suite, so all traffic will be going through this Bubble Suite proxy. Okay, so now I'd like to. So now we can click the button, and then we can send this request to repeater module. And so how to do? First of all, we can manipulate the user agent. We can remove original user agent and put our web shell system. Very simple. Get method, cmd square bracket parentheses, and we can apply changes. So I need to make a double check. cmd, this parameter, later we need to use this parameter to pass the value, pass the command. But here we need to change this as well. We can copy this part, we can copy and replace this part and pass another parameter cmd. Okay, so now we can send the request. But id command is not executed. If you send the request one more time, this time the id command can be executed. Yes, beautiful, right? So it means that we have already put or uploaded the web shell to the target machine. Or in other words, we have already poisoned access.log file of Apache 2. So now I don't think we do not need to use Bubble Suite anymore. Let me close up. And also we can close up this Firefox. And now we can put it over here. Command cmd id. As you can see, the command has been executed as we expected. And we can try to check to see whether netcat is available. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to, run reversal command so that we can get initial foothold on the target machine. So netcat is not available. So how about Python? How about Python 2? Python 2 is not available. Python? No. So next we can check the availability of Python 3. Press enter. So how about Python 3? We can yes, Python 3 is there. So this means we can utilize Python 3 reversal command. Okay, so how to do? Let me go to this website to copy this command. And then, oh, sorry, what I'm doing. And we need to do some modification. For example, here need to be Python 3 rather than Python 2 because Python 2 is not available. And then we can change the attacking IP. And if you want, you also can change port number. I always use this port number. So now we can copy the entire reverse command with Python 3. But before we run this command, we need to set up the listener on the Kali Linux, waiting for collection from the target machine. Okay, and here we can replace this command by our reverse shell command. Press enter. As you can see, we have already got collection from the target machine. So great. And also we can spawn an interactive shell by Python 3. pty.spawn. And also we can define environment variable term so that we can clear screen to get a bigger space on the window, right? So maybe before we go ahead, we can answer some questions in the room. So the flag 2, I think we have already found, but I failed to make notes, maybe. So the hint, oh, what am I doing? Hint. I do not need to use this one. Anyhow, let's go ahead. So now we can check to see, go to home directory and go to Archangel. And we can get the user flag, and we can copy. And answer is correct. Okay, I think I've already found the flag too, but I cannot remember. Anyhow, the primary goal of this room is to get a root shell, right? So now we can. Oh, we found a secret directory. What's that? Oh, permission denied. Let's go to apt directory, because we have to enumerate the machine. We find this shell script, and everyone has full permissions to this one, and the backups files. So possibly let's get out this file, this shell script. Just echo hello world to this file. Let me go inside this directory. Oh, we do not have permission, which is fine. So possibly there is some kinds of cron job running at the background. Can we get this one? Indeed, this user Archangel every minute will run this shell script every 1 minute. And so I think we can manipulate this shell script and to become this user Archangel. In other words, we can make a lot of movement. And because again, any user have permission to change or manipulate this shell script, we can put reversal command to this file, and we can get many different reverse command. But I take this, the easiest one, and we need to do some modification. But different port number 66, and also we can use this one. We can copy, and we can echo double quotes, and then use another double quote to wrap the entire command and append to this file hello world. We can copy, paste in here. Next, we can set up another listener waiting for collection from the target machine. If we can get the shell, this shell should belong to another user. Yes, indeed, Archangel. Beautiful. So next, we can go to the secret, and also we can run sudo. Also we can get the another user flag. Okay, and also we can run sudo no tty. So run sudo, and we need to provide the password. Of course, we do not have his password, so we just try 3 attempts to go ahead. So above this second user flag, we found backup. We can go inside this directory. Oh, this is not directory, this is file, and we can, this file has SUID bit, and also the owner is root user. So this means if this file is executable when the current user runs this backup file, or executable will temporarily get the ownership, get the privilege of owner, its owner. Okay, so root. So now we can, we can run it. Maybe we can check the file type first, backup. So this is the 64-bit executable, and we can run backup. Can't stat. So can make stat. This file, no such file or directory. So how to? Of course, we can transfer this file to Canonix for further analysis. But I think before we do that, we can try to use a strings command to get or retrieve all readable character. Okay, backup. This is a very important technique when we try to, analyze the binary. Backup. Okay. So set gid. So I think this binary will do this copy. Copy. This. Source from the my files directory to the backup files directory. The problem here is cp command is not in the absolute path. So we can utilize this point for our purpose. Okay, we can create our own cp command. Let me show you. Go to temp directory. Let me create our own cp command. And we need to make it executable. But also we need to change the path variable temp. Okay, and then we need to go to secret one more time, directory, and then we can run it. As you can see, we have already become root user, and then we can navigate to root directory to grab the root flag. Okay, so this is the final flag. But it seems we didn't find the flag 2. A bit weird. Get the user flag. The second user flag, we know that. We can go back. Second user flag. Okay, we can get out the second user flag. We can copy and paste over here. Correct. But just one more thing we do not complete. Find flag 2. So robots test PGP. So where is this, the flag, the sec test? This one? I don't know. I can copy. I don't know. Submit. Oh, it's not correct. Not this one. Sorry, I need to find out. Anyway, this is not our, real task. But anyhow, I'd like to find it. I'm back. Actually, another, or the final flag, not the final flag. You know, the second flag lies in the source code of test.php. We can scroll up. Yeah, here. So we can copy and paste in here and submit it. Great, it's correct. So I think that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you next. Bye. Have a nice day, please.